Hey everyone, Dr. Caroline Carpenter here, and I'm going to take a few minutes to explain to you what amygdala hijack is. Now, why you ask? So that is exactly what I help dismantle with women specifically. So you got to know what you're dealing with so that you know when it's time to hire me. So let's walk through this really quickly. Here's how this works. It is a little bitty organ in your brain whose sole purpose is to stop you in your tracks when it thinks you're going to get hurt and to save you from imminent death or imminent doom. Example. Let's say you're camping in the woods. If you're not really a nature lover, go with me here, okay? I'll try to use another example. Camping in the woods, chilling in your chair, all of a sudden a bear comes up. Now, let's say you're not a master trained person in wildlife and dismantling a bear. You're going to freak out. You're going to stop. You're going to freeze. You're going to look for the nearest escape and try to figure out how to either fight the bear and win. But first you're going to freeze, and then you're going to figure out if you can flee. Your body's going to be like, do we fight? Do we flight? Do we flee? It is panic. It is like whatever you were thinking about is gone. You can't think about anything else. Your body is figuring out how to escape. Make sense? It should. That's its whole design. Another example. Imagine going to the grocery store and somebody putting a gun to your head. All of a sudden, you're going to have all these body feelings. Nothing you were thinking about mattered. Your goals didn't matter. Nothing mattered. All you're thinking of is, what is happening? Am I going to live or am I going to die? Now, if you're a military trained veteran, totally different. But let's say you are a normal woman going to the grocery store. Somebody puts a gun to your head. Everything about the day changes. You no longer care about any of those goals and dreams. It's about, how do I stay alive? Do I fight this person, freeze, or flee? Freeze is usually the first response. Let's make this a little more real in everyday life. Let's say, let's say your partner says, hey, we need to talk. Not quite the same thing as a bear or a gun, but you're going to have some feelings. Your mind could be racing, looking for all the potential things. Panic may set in. You may think, oh my gosh, this is it. What are they going to tell me? I'm in trouble. They're leaving me, whatever. Like, your mind's going to conjure all the things to try to figure out, do you fight? Do you flight? Do you freeze? This is the amygdala, my friend. This is this little organ's sole purpose. It exists to perceive and solve a potential threat before you die. And so what this thing does is it remembers everything from 0 to 7 that was ever threatening, potentially, or potentially dangerous. And what is dangerous to a 0-year-old or 2-year-old is very different to what could be dangerous to a 35-year-old or a 20-year-old or a 50-year-old. So the amygdala stores everything in broken images and sounds. So images, pictures, sounds, smells. It will store fragments of information that your body can pick up on. And what it will do is, if it picks up on anything, imagine a puzzle, right? Let's say a super traumatic event is like a 1,000 piece puzzle that you just put together. The puzzle's in order and all together on the board. Drop the puzzle on the floor. It fragments into 500, 1,000, 1,500 pieces, 2,000, however many pieces. Your amygdala picks up on 2 of those pieces. It activates the fight, flight, fear response. Here's why this matters. If you're breathing, you are on a hero's journey. Actually, let me back up. If you are a human breathing air, you have hopes, dreams, and goals. Now, if you haven't already accomplished those hopes, dreams, and goals, they're going to require action and situations and connections and skill sets and neurology you haven't already done yet. You haven't survived yet. The big thing is action and decisions. Here's what the amygdala will do in 2024, the 21st century. This is how the amygdala shows up. Those hopes, dreams, and goals you have, in your sights that you're going for. The moment that it is time to take a calculated risk or stretch yourself in the direction of that thing that you don't yet have, your amygdala will fire. Here's what it looks like. Overthinking, oh my gosh, what if I get it wrong? What if I don't do this right? What are they going to think? What's going to happen? Am I going to go broke? Is this too much money at once? I'm terrified to look at my bank account. I don't know. What are they going to think of me? Are they going to leave me? Am I going to fail? Am I going to look stupid? Anything like that. Or, I don't know if I can do it. I don't believe I can. Like, once all those are gone, it usually gets down to, I don't believe I can. You know why? Because you haven't yet. Belief is not the thing that will drive this thing. The hardwired survival response is what triggers this thing. And what will happen? Here's the thing. To grow, for instance, in relationships, to grow, you've got to get closer emotionally, mentally, and physically in an intimate way. For that, rupture is required. Meaning, to come closer, conflict actually has to happen. And how you do conflict, and how you've been exposed to that, and how you've been exposed to relational intimacy will be a stored memory in your amygdala. If you saw fighting and chaos and divorce and conflict and cheating and whatever, your amygdala has a picture of that. And if it even comes close to, if it picks up 2 puzzle pieces of that picture, it fires. And what can happen is, oh, they don't care about me. Like, here we go again. I can't expect anything good to happen. This is how it always goes. They're going to leave. I can't stand them. Why do they never think of me? All those feelings you felt as a result of that traumatic response, even if you were a child, automatically come up when that amygdala picks up on the 2 little puzzle pieces. Just one example. Another example. When it's time to ask for a sale or when it's time to make an offer as an entrepreneur. Who am I to take money from anyone? They're in need. Like, they don't have it. What are they going to think of me? Are they going to reject it? Are they going to be upset with me? Like, who am I? Am I going to look sleazy? Is it all the things that were ever told to you as a child in a negative light from parents? They're going to be stored as traumatic things. All the things that you may have heard parents say or whatever societal norm you grew up in. If selling was sleazy in your household, this might be stored as a trauma response in your amygdala. And when it comes time to show up and speak to people and make connections, at the point where it's time to receive money, you might get hijacked. Relationship hijacks happen so often up here. Money hijacks in the entrepreneur process and solopreneurship hijack all the time up here. Usually happens up here in relational situations. Let's talk about health. Here's why it matters. Whatever your health will directly impact relationships, business, and money, or whatever your current survival mode is, whatever you're stretching toward. Once you've survived calculated risk over and over and over and over again, your amygdala will reset. But most people don't know where they are on their own hero's journey because there's 3 to 4 places where it will activate in different ways. And it will stop, and the amount of times that pause or stopping or getting stuck altogether happens will be directly correlated to the amount of frustration and disbelief and overwhelm, and I'm just done with this already, forget it. Wherever, like, that will be directly determined, that will be directly correlated with the amount of that you're feeling. So, here's what happens in the body. Whatever you were exposed to from 0 to 7, whoever you were around, you absorbed all of their programming. Yeah, past lives, past generations, etc. You inherited things via DNA, and whatever programs, whoever you were around, the programs you're running now got activated as a child. They got installed and activated as a child, which is why so many people tell me, I don't know why I'm shut down. I'm so exhausted. I got ready to do that sales talk and I couldn't. I got so sick. The body stores all of the old unprocessed negative emotion and old out-of-date programs in it. The body will store this. Now, depending on, imagine a storage unit. Depending on how much your storage unit is storing will determine how much room do you have left in your body for the new to come in. And it takes 6 times the amount of energy to store whatever's in your storage unit. The more you're storing, the less battery you have to do life with. Let's say you start the day with 100%, right? But you're gonna have things stored in your basement. There are going to be some things stored. Depending on how much is stored there, and I've met people who are like, that basement's good, I don't want to look at it. They are using tons of energy and wear out so quick in a day. Let's say you're at 80% capacity with your storage unit. You have 20% battery to go on for the whole day. We are talking all of your internal organs, all of your thought processes, and all of the stretch investment that you have, the stretch of time, the stretch of energy, the stretch of money. Stretch is required to grow in the direction of your hopes, goals, and dreams. If you don't have enough battery to stretch, you're going to be hijacked before you even get there. When your physiology is stressed and you go below a certain amount, your amygdala will hijack and shut you down. I used to get migraines. I've heard of women completely going into shutdown. I've had them go into freeze mode for 6 hours on a couch doom scrolling just because that amygdala would shut them down because of all the gunk stored in their basement. So, the amygdala is connected to all of these things and will impact every single part of your life. But it usually shows up in one pretty hardcore. Usually it's relationships and business. And when I say business, I mean at work, with overworking, burnout, boundaries, not being able to make enough money. Or getting stuck in freeze mode making decisions. Now in relationships, what will happen is lack of connection, lack of intimacy, poor boundaries, no communication, being afraid of showing up as you are. There's a whole other list, but this is exactly how amygdala hijack shows up in your body and will take you out before you even know what's happening. So this is exactly what I help people dismantle. I've had people, PTSD, that is a consistent amygdala hijack response. That is a person walking around at 50% activation level of the amygdala. Let's say 0% you're good, you're chill. 50% you're ready to fight whenever the opportunity presents itself. 80% you're looking for it and provoking it. 90% you're blowing wherever you can. You are walking anger and hatred and rage, whatever. This is how that will manifest in the body. That's what I help with. So, it can be neutralized. It can be completely ditched. Here's the thing. Being a human requires growth. That is what we came here to do. And it can be dismantled quickly. I had a client go from complete hijack in freeze mode on the couch, terrified to draw boundaries, expected the worst before she could be disappointed, all sorts of things, all sorts of connections, afraid to invest in herself, afraid to go for her dreams. And in under 4 weeks, doubled her income, doubled her client load, was doing everything she loved, got 6 hours of her life back every day. I had another client that lived in the PTSD response consistently. She was like, yeah, I lived in amygdala hijack. Now she she doesn't live there anymore. She literally forgot she used to be hijacked all the time. That consistent anxiety, panic, fear, like that feeling. Yeah. And these ladies had been through tons of therapy. The dismantling doesn't happen with more awareness. Awareness is key, and clearing out what it's responding to in the body is the big key. It is 90% of it. And in my opinion, that is what's missing from most coaching programs. Almost all of them, actually. That's what's missing from most coaching programs and most treatments is, and this is not treatment. This is, that's a medical word. Been there, done that. I was a chiropractor for 15 years. Treatments are not meant to work long term. What I do does. I got out of chiropractic because the treatments were not meant to work long term. And there's a whole argument about semantics with adjustment versus manipulation, whatever. I clear the shit in the body that causes your amygdala to hijack like crazy. And I reprogram all of your programs for you to be in alignment with your hopes, goals, and dreams. So you get there 90% faster than you would have, if at all, on your own. The results are rapid. Change happens instantaneously, and continual change keeps going. Period. I have had people do 1 intervention with me, 2 interventions with me, and a year later, they are still seeing changes. I have had people go through my full one-on-one breakthrough intensive process, 6 to 8 weeks, and ditch 10 to 20 years of garbage in weeks. And they hit goals faster than they thought they ever would. We set an 8-week goal. They hit it in 4. And I have a client that completely forgot about her dream of living on the road for a year with her family and working remotely while seeing the world. She forgot about her dream because she was hijacked so much all the time. She is 2/3 of the way to making that whole thing happen. And a few months ago, she was like, yeah, it's kind of a pipe dream. She'd forgotten about her dream. Literally forgotten about her dream. So, here's the thing. Survival mode will always exist. Surviving and then thriving and then dreaming. Survival must be met. The more you can stretch in the direction of your dreams, wishes, and goals, the survival bar will move. Instead of surviving unfulfilling relationships, not enough money or just enough money, and chaos, conflict, drama, overwhelm, anxiety, freeze mode, instead of that being survival, you can move the bar on this. The bar will be moved. There will be another base of survival. And now some of my clients' survival basis is, well, it's having plenty of money and working in the direction of their dreams and understanding that conflicts is going to show up, but it's much more easygoing. So survival when in full amygdala hijack can feel terrifying. It can change to, oh wow, okay, where's my next opportunity? There's a lull right now. This is survival. There's a lull. There's enough money. I've got good connections. Maybe there was a spat, but we're fine. Keep moving on. So the survival will change. The further you stretch in the direction of your dreams, the more this will change. I know people whose survival mode is like $100K a month. So it's largely determined on how quickly you clear your shit and how willing you are to stretch in the direction of your dreams. So I hope that helps in understanding what the heck is an amygdala, what is hijack, and how is it impacting me. Most of America's walking around hijacked. We have been trained to. Y'all, we have been trained to be consumers, hijacked consumers. We have been trained to stay hijacked and be dependent. Full independence happens when you neutralize your amygdala and you can sovereignly make decisions from wholeness and choice. It is beautiful and it is gratifying. So, I love you all. Let me know if you have any questions. I have a killer program going right now and the Amygdala 6-week reset accelerator. Got lots of testimonials coming in on that. I have my, and I'm building a badass program around my one-on-one intensives. So there's a cool beta program I am dropping. The bonus is wild. I'm looking for 3 ladies who are like, I want my hopes, I want my dreams, wishes, and goals. And they need to happen now. I want my dream life. So I'm looking for 3 ladies who are ready to change their lives yesterday. And yeah, I've got an event coming up. It's called Who's Hijacked My Relationship. Who's Hijacked My Amygdala is available on replay. Who's Hijacked My Relationship is free to attend live, no replay. That's going to be reserved for my community. And Who's Hijacked My Money is coming up after Who's Hijacked My Relationship. All free live attendance, no replay. I will sell the recording, but it will be 100% available to my community. So there are perks to being in proximity. I love you all. Please subscribe. Please share. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you need help with that amygdala.